So we are giving a talk on the book, My Relationship with God. And it is based on the mantra which Gandhari was singing. And that mantra is Tvameva Mata Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakhat Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. So there were two talks before. One was on knowledge, another one was on money, possession, wealth. So I have to talk about God as brother and God as relative. Now, the topic is my relationship with God. So first of all, why do I have to have a relationship with God? Is it really necessary to have the relationship with God? And before we answer that, what is God? Because many people have different ideas about God. Some people think of God as some superhuman being living in the high heaven. Some people think of God as Divine Mother, or Jesus Christ, or Moses, or Mother Mary, or Krishna, Ram, Shiva, Buddha. So people think of God in many different forms. But what is really God? Basically, God is formless. God has no form. God is infinite consciousness, formless. God is peace and calmness. God is pure divine love. God is joy, happiness, bliss. So when we feel that pure divine love, when we feel that bliss, joy, happiness, we are close to God. So that is God. Now, question is, do we really have to feel this relationship with God? Can we not find God without having that relationship? And yes, you don't have to have, or you don't have to establish a relationship with God in order to find Him. But why want to find God? Because as we said, God is joy and happiness. God is pure divine love, peace and calmness. That is what we want. And in this world, everybody is after happiness. But we all know that happiness that we get from the material objects, it makes us happy, but only temporarily, not permanent happiness. Permanent happiness comes only from God. When we find God, that means we will be happy, joyful, blissful for eternity, forever and ever. So material objects don't give us permanent happiness. And God, where is God? God is not in the mind. God is not in the thoughts. God is beyond mind and beyond thoughts. So, if you want to find God, you have to go beyond mind, beyond thoughts. And that's where you will find formless God. Gurudev always used to see, you cannot find God when there is so much how, we were saying. Because if you go to temple, generally temples are very noisy. He said, you cannot find God in noise. Go into the silence inside your head, and that's where you will find Him. So you have to go beyond thoughts. And to go beyond thoughts, you have to concentrate. And Kriya Yoga is one of the ways you learn how to concentrate, how to meditate, and go beyond the mind. So Kriya Yoga will teach us that. So that is why we meditate, to find God. Now, as coming back to the question, do we really have to have a relationship with God? No, not really. Few days before coming here, we had discussion with our daughter. She's about 50-year-old now. So she was telling that she cannot build a relationship with God. For her, God is something much bigger, much larger, something like infinity. And she can relate to God as infinity, pure divine joy or pure divine love. So she says, when I think of God in a form, it becomes limiting. So people who have, because she says she has been brought up in this environment in the United States. She didn't have any occasion, because for us, temple was not very nearby. We hardly went to temple. When I first met Gurudev in 1975, she was only 4-year-old. So from the very early age, she has been in contact with spirituality, God, Gurudev, then Guruji. So she has no such contact with really God in the form. In my case, it was totally different, because I will talk about how I see my relationship with God. From that, it may help you also. So from the very young age, we were living in a town in India, on the western part of India, about, I would say, 110 miles, 15 miles north of Mumbai. So we lived there, and in that town, I grew up in my family. My parents used to go to temple, Divine Mother's temple, every day in the night for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. It was 5-minute walk. They go to temple, pray to Divine Mother, do chanting or whatever. I don't know what they were doing there. But they go there and then come back. We as a children didn't go there every day. But every now and then we would go to temple, pray to Divine Mother. So I developed some connection with Divine Mother. But then, and that was until I was 22-year-old and 24-year-old, and then at the age of 24, I came to the United States. In those days, there were no temples. So we were not going to any temple, and then I met Gurudev. So Gurudev became like my connection with spirituality. Now Gurudev, as I told you in the beginning, I was really scared of him, because he would look at me, very deep, powerful eyes, and not blinking. And he will continuously stare at you. So I could not look at him. I was getting scared. But as I came much and much closer to him, I started seeing totally different thing. I saw that he's full of compassion, pity, love, and very kind and loving. So I felt very good in his presence. And so much so that I would not, when we go there, myself, my wife, our daughter, we would not like to leave him. And in those days, he was not very, very old. He was in his late 60s, early 70s. And when he talked, he would talk for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, like that. In New York, we were in New York. So he would keep talking and talking, and we don't talk, we just listen to him. And very simple talks. And when we go to some program, there will be about 40, 50, 60 people surrounding him, and he will talk very simple talks, not intellectual talks. And he will talk for 1 hour, 2 hours, and then he will say, now I'm tired, please go. Then people will leave, otherwise nobody will leave him. And we met him, we used to meet him every now and then, and he took care of us as if mother takes care of the child. So he will see what kind of food I am eating, and he saw, I don't know what he saw, but he could see one thing, that I have to put on weight. So he tried very hard to make me eat more and more food, and I could not eat so much. So in 1998-99, I went to Vienna because Gurudev was there in the ashram. So he would not come out when we were eating lunch or dinner. He will stay inside the room. But all these monks, there were quite a few monks, and they will keep forcing me eating food. They will put so much food in my plate, and I could not eat it. It was taking me more than 1 hour to finish all the food. And I could not understand why they are forcing so much. Then I realized that Gurudev was telling them behind my back that feed him more food. Because as a mother, he wanted to remain healthy, live long, and become stronger. So he wanted me to put on weight. So he will, and whenever I was with him, he will tell me, you eat this food, this is good. You don't eat this food, that is not good. In 92, when he came to Cincinnati in the month of August, he stayed with us 1 week. After 5 days, we were running out of food because every day about 70, 75, 80 people will come in our house in the basement. Very hot month of August, and people were sweating, and he was sweating too, but he will not let air conditioner run. Okay, no windows should be opened, and it was very hot, and people were not comfortable. But nobody will leave. Everybody will sit and listen to him. So after 5 days, because every day 10, 15 people eating lunch and dinner, so we ran out of grocery after 5 days. So we told Baba, we are going out to get grocery, we'll come back. He said, no, I'm coming with you. We didn't want to take him to the grocery store. So, but he said, I'm coming. So he came, and then we parked the car and said, Baba, you sit here, we'll go and get grocery. No, I'm coming with you inside. So he came inside the grocery store, and he observed each and every item of grocery. And the front, near the cashier, there were sweets. And then he will say, there was one Indian sweet called gulab jamu. He says, don't eat this sweet. It is adulterated sweet. Another one was rasgulla. He said, eat this is good, buy this one. So he will tell us what to eat, what not to eat. And then he brought one brahmachari, very young boy, in his late teens or 20, 21 year old. And he will watch everything he does, everything he eats. And he will say, okay, eat this one, rasmalai, or eat this vegetable. Don't eat this is fried, this is not good. And he'll take care of like a mother. So I got much more connection with Gurudev, and he'll say, then sometimes he will ask me that, do you think I should make that person Yogacharya? I say, Baba, how am I going to answer you? You are God, as you know more than me. But he will ask me like that. He says, what do you think about this Swami? What are his defects? I say, Baba, I don't know. You know it. But he will ask me like that. So we became very close connection, and I felt like he's my father, And then in 1996, there was a seminar in New York, so I went to that seminar. I didn't know who. I thought Gurudev is there, and there was another monk. So I think these two will be there. But to my surprise, I saw a third monk. I had never seen him before, and it was Guruji. So I met Guruji for the first time, and Gurudev in the middle, in the center. On his left-hand side was Guruji, right-hand side was another monk, and I saw Guruji, and I felt, just first sight, I felt so much love for him. So after the program was finished, I went to Gurudev and said, Gurudev, can you send, I said by name, Pragyananandji to Cincinnati to do the program? Gurudev says, yes, in next 2 weeks he gave me the dates. He will come. And I said, oh God, in 2 weeks, how am I going to prepare for the program? I didn't know much about that. So, how to prepare the flyers and what to do. But he said, Gurudev said so, and I didn't talk with my wife. Okay? So, but Gurudev said that you will do the program. So I said, okay, Baba. I went home, and then I told my wife that I met Guruji there, Pragyananandji. He's so nice. I feel so much love for him, and Gurudev is going to come on these dates for the Kriya program, initiation and everything. Guruji was 96 was the first time he came, and Cincinnati started his Kriya Yoga program in USA from Cincinnati. So I told my wife, so she says, what dates? I gave her the dates. She says, why did you not consult me? Why didn't you talk with me before fixing the program? I said, why? What is wrong? She says, that time, on that day when he's coming, we have to go to the party. And she got a little upset. She says, now you invited him, so you take care of him. I'm going to go to the party. I said, okay, I can take care of him, no problem. And then I went to the airport, brought Guruji home. He was sitting in the center. On this side, she was sitting, I was sitting on this side, and we started talking. About half an hour, 45 minutes, and then I asked her, you don't want to go to party? She says, no, I am not going to party. I have to prepare food for Guruji. I have to take care of him. I am not going to the party. Just half an hour talk, her mind changed completely, because feeling so much love from Guruji. So 5 days she stayed, and she took such a good care of him, preparing food and taking care of him, doing everything. So this is how, you feel that love from masters, and you forget everything else. Then after 5 days, we had to, next program was in Detroit. So I was going to take him, because I knew, I met him 15 days ago in New York. So I took my vacation from job, and she didn't know Guruji, so she didn't take vacation, my wife. And then I took him to Detroit by car. Once we reached there, in about half an hour, she rang and talked to Guruji. And she said, I want to talk to Guruji. So Guruji took the phone, and she was crying in the phone. Oh, Guruji, I miss you so much. I don't feel good, and she was crying like that. So that is the kind of love you feel from the masters. So I wrote Gurudev, after I wrote a letter to him, that I feel like Guruji is my older brother. He is younger than me, but I said he is younger than me in age, but in knowledge and in spirituality, he is much older than me. So he is like my older brother. So just think, I could build relationship with how I built it. Now, how I came in contact with Kriya Yoga? I read the book Biography of a Yogi. And when I was reading the book, through the writings, I felt so much love coming from Yogananji. So Yogananji introduced me to Kriya Yoga. So Baba, Divine Mother, as my Divine Mother, then Gurudev as my father, Guruji as my older brother, and Yogananji is like my uncle. So it became my Kriya family. So this is the kind of relationship I built up with God, like that. So now for you, you have to think, who do you feel more attached to? Who you feel more love towards? In your life, it can be your parents, it can be your brother, it can be your sister or beloved or wife, husband, friend, relative, anybody. Anybody you feel more attracted towards, you feel more love towards him, more attachment, you build that relationship with God. Because most of the people in the world, it is difficult for them to connect with formless God, abstract. They cannot connect with that. But if you feel love in your worldly relationship with somebody, then you will, that kind of love will readily flow in your heart towards God. And then you can make much closer connection with God. So this is how you can build a relationship with God and try to meditate. It will help you in meditation. Now, and again, I think yesterday there was a talk and Swamiji was saying that Gandhari, she was praying to God in this prayer that, I have come in this family because of my karma. And in the past life, I desired 100 children, so you gave me 100 children. But I did not ask you for good children. So I got all my bad children, and I tried so hard to get them to give at least 5 villages to Pandavas. But they did not heed my advice, and they are very arrogant, egoistic, and they all died in the battlefield. I lost my whole family, my brother, my children, grandchildren, and it's only you now. You are everything to me. And that's what he was saying, that when he was saying, you are my mother, you are my father, that is one-to-one relationship as a mother and father. That was a duality there. And then he says, you are everything to me, means you are also me, or me and you are one. So then from duality you go to unity. So you can start with that kind of relationship, and like I give you some example, like for Mother Mirabai. From the very young age, somebody gave her the idol of Lord Krishna, and she was saying, Lord Krishna is my husband or my beloved. So she, from the very young age, she built a relationship with God as husband or beloved. And that relationship, like one time in the monsoon season, some monks came, and they were singing and praying to God, so she liked their company. She was staying in their company like that. And then after the monsoon season was over, they left. Before leaving, seeing Mira's devotion and love, they gave her one idol of Lord Krishna. So she was thinking of that God as Lord Krishna as her husband. And when she became a young, beautiful princess, she was forced to get married. She didn't want to get married, but she was forced. But for her, Lord Krishna was her husband. So she will close the room and talk to Lord Krishna, so much loving talk, like wife talking to husband. Her husband outside listening to her talk, and says, my wife is not pure, she is not chaste. She is having some affair with somebody. So, but many times he will open the door, he will see nobody inside. But still he became jealous. He says, my wife loves Lord Krishna, that idol, more than me. So one day he decides to kill her. So one day Mira used to go to the Lord Krishna temple all the time. One day she could not go. So he found that opportunity, he brought the glass of water mixed with poison to kill her. And he says, here, this is a prasad from temple, Lord Krishna has given it for you. So Mira was so happy. She says, today I could not go to temple, And Lord Krishna thought of me and sent me the prasad. He's so kind, he's so loving, and with heart full of love, she drank the water. To the surprise of her husband, nothing happened to her. But her husband was left with very bad karma for which he had to pay sometime in the future. So this is the kind of love she built up with God. And now we are not like her, she was very spiritual. So we have to build up that relationship with God. We cannot build up that deep relationship right away. But if we pray to God in that relationship, mother, father, whatever, or child, even as a child, or beloved, and if you pray to God with love, before, after meditation during the day, and if you keep praying and praying without expecting anything, then gradually you will build that relationship with God, and as you grow spiritually, your love will become more pure, more divine, and you will love God with that pure love, like Mirabai. Okay? So that is one example of Mirabai loving God as her husband. That is the relationship she had. Arjuna, his relationship with God was, Lord Krishna was friend. So now look at this thing. Before that Mahabharata war started, Arjuna, commander-in-chief of Pandavas, good party, and Duryodhana, commander-in-chief of bad party, Kauravas, they both went to Lord Krishna for his advice. I think Arjuna went there, or I don't know who went there first, but Arjuna was sitting next to Lord Krishna near his head. I'm sorry, Duryodhana was standing there, and Arjuna was right across him. So Lord Krishna was sleeping. When he opened his eyes, he saw Arjuna because he was right there. So he asked him, "Why? What is the reason why you are coming here?" So Duryodhana says, "No, I came here before." Duryodhana came before. I came here before, so first let me ask my question. But Krishna says, "No, Arjuna, I saw him first, so let him ask first." So Arjuna says, "We need your help." So Lord Krishna says, "Okay, you have two options. You can take my powerful army and they will fight for you. They are all powerful people. Or you can select me. But if you take me, I will not fight. I'll just drive your chariot. I will not fight." So Duryodhana says, no, then Arjuna says, okay, he had tremendous faith. He and Pandavas had tremendous faith and love for Lord Krishna. He says, "We want you. Even if you don't fight, we have complete faith in you, complete love. I will completely love you. You drive our chariot." Duryodhana was so happy because he wanted army, because he said, "What? He is not going to fight. What is he going to do?" So he took the army, and see Lord Krishna driving the chariot, and because of Lord Krishna on their side, Pandavas finally won the battle. So this is the relationship as a friend. Now relationship can also be as servant and master. And for Hanumana, for him, Rama was his master, and he loved Rama so much, and he liked to keep looking at him. So one day at night, Rama and Sita, his beloved wife, they went in the bedroom, closed the door, and Hanuman outside started complaining that why Mother Sita can go with Rama and why I cannot go. I love him so much also. So people explained to him that no, Sita is his beloved wife. She can stay inside. You cannot stay because you are not that. So, and then they explained that she has put this red dot. That is a sign of her wife, his wife. So she can stay. So Hanuman that night, he was very simple, full of love. So the night goes out, he buys that kumkum, red powder, puts his own whole body, becomes red, And then he knocks the door. Rama says, what do you want? He says, Mother Sita has only one dot, red dot, but I'm red all over my body. So if she can stay with you, I can also stay with you. So this is the kind of love he had. Now, Hanuman said, Rama one day asked him that, how do you love me? He says, when I think that I'm a body, I love you as you are my master, and I serve you, I'm your servant. But when I think of myself as an individual, then I feel that I'm part of you. And when I think myself as that I am the soul, then I feel, I experience that you and I are one. So again, from Dvaita to Advaita. Advaita means duality, Advaita means unity. So you can go from duality to unity or directly to Supreme Almighty God. And similarly, gopis love, they also loved Lord Krishna tremendously. So one day, what happened that Lord Krishna had severe headache. They tried many things, nothing worked, and his headache was not going. It was becoming worse and worse. So they asked Krishna, what can we do so that, that can cure your headache? Lord Krishna says, there is one thing you can do. If you can bring the dust from the feet of my devotee and apply it to my head, my headache will instantly go away. But there was a belief in those days that if you apply the dust from your feet to Lord Krishna's head, you will go to hell. So everybody was quiet. Nobody wanted to go to hell. So this news went to gopis in Vrindavana, and they immediately said that if the dust from our feet can cure Lord Krishna's headache, we will be very happy to go to hell. So that is unconditional love. They just loved Krishna as their beloved. And so this is the kind of love they have. And we have to develop that kind of love. It cannot come, it can come to us at a very high spiritual level. But that is the relationship they had with Lord Krishna. Okay, so I talked about brother's relationship as a brother, as a beloved. Now, coming back to Guruji, how love develops. So, one time I was with him. No, but before that, let me see another thing. Whenever he was coming twice a year, every time 5 days he will stay. About 9 or 13 years, I don't remember exactly, but about 13 years he was coming to Cincinnati. And all the time when he will come, phone will keep ringing, asking him. People will call him to pray for something, maybe their son or daughter, they are sick or they have no job, no money, many reasons. And we hear it, their conversation, and Guru's answer to all these requests was that, I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. And I was wondering, so many people call, maybe hundreds and hundreds of people, and everybody he says, I'll pray for you. How can he pray for so many people? So one time I was with him in Brasilia, Brazil, and there was a retreat. In the lunchtime, he was going upstairs to take a rest. So when he was climbing up, he saw me, and he says, Baba, come with me. And I was feeling so good with him and Gurudev, I would not miss a chance. I immediately went with him. So he lay down in the bed. I was sitting next to him on the chair, and then he then I took the opportunity to ask him, because it was bothering me, how he can pray for so many people. So I asked Baba, how can you pray for so many people? Hundreds of people call you. He said, it's very easy. If somebody is thinking of me again and again, I will know that that person is thinking of me, and then I will try to help him. And he has helped many people like that. But again, you should have that devotion, that love. Build up that relationship with him as a guru, because that can be a relationship as a guru-disciple. Because guru is one good relationship where guru can remove your ego. And ego is the biggest barrier on the spiritual path. So you can build up that relationship with your guru, and you can, it will help you on your spiritual path. Again, only thing that he will try to help you, but it also depends upon your karma from past life. Okay? If your karma is very, very, very bad, and if you have to work that karma out, even gurus sometimes cannot help. But they can at least reduce the severity of your result, of your karma. They can definitely reduce it, but cannot completely remove it, because you have to go through it. So that is another thing. So that is the relationship you can build with your master, Gurudev or Guruji. And you don't have to be physically in their presence. Just looking at that picture, look in their eyes and develop that love. Pray to them every time, whenever you get a chance, and meditate. That relationship of love will gradually develop, and it will become deeper and deeper and deeper. Another occasion, like he was in our house, and he will talk to us. In those days, nowadays he doesn't talk, but in those days he was talking a lot. After dinner, we finish dinner around 9:30, until 12, 1 in the night, he will be talking to us. And we enjoy his talk so much. He will talk about how he met Gurudev, how he got initiation, who are the people got initiation with him, many, many talks, and we really enjoyed the talk. So then, generally after lunch, he will go to his room upstairs, and he will usually say, now I am going to my cave. That was his, always say, I am going to my cave. So he will go there, and then sitting in the bed, he will write. Writing 3 or 4 books every year. This is how he used to do it. And he will write until late night. So every time I go to ask him for some water or something he needs, I see him writing like this, always. Left hand like this. I kept wondering why he keeps his finger like this in writing. So one day I went to him in the room, and he was writing like that. So I asked him, Baba, why you keep your hands like that and write? He says, I am writing, but I am watching my breath. Do I feel any warm air coming out of my nose into my finger? So even while writing book, he was remaining in God conscious state and writing books. So when you read books, it makes sure that you read the book written by God realized master. But there are many scholars, they write books also, but they write from their mind, or from other books or scriptures they have read, from that they write. And masters write, feeling the presence of God and writing. So direct experience, from that they write. So you get a lot of benefit from reading those kind of books. So again one day, he was downstairs, and after taking shower, I was coming down the steps. Now, as I was not expecting, these masters are sometimes very strange. So I went in front of him, and then he says, can you see my tongue? He asked me. And then he opened his mouth. I could not see his tongue. So he was doing khechari. Could not see, all the way in nasal cavity. I don't know why he asked me that, but I saw that. Okay. So this is another experience. And he was also, he liked to play with people. Particularly, he sees something, he would like to tease them. So he, Sadhana, my wife, she always liked to feed him so many things. And she will make different items all the time. So one day, she brought prune juice. And she will gave him prune juice, and he liked it very much. He said, "Oh, it's very good." So he'll take another one. So every day she started giving prune juice. And one day there was a lecture by him, and she took one bottle, big bottle of prune juice, that he might need to drink it. So before the lecture, so Guruji saw, because it was in her bag, "What is inside?" She says, "Prune juice." "Give me," he asked. So she filled one cup and drank it. He drank it and then says, "Give me another one." So she says, "No, Baba, I am not going to give you." He says, "Why not?" She says, "Because prune juice, if you drink, you cannot give talk, you will have to go to toilet, you know." So he was so much concerned about him. And he says, when he heard that, he wanted to tease her more. "No, give me more, I want more." So she gave her a third glass, and he drank it. And then again he asked, and more than half a bottle he finished right there. And she could not rest. She said, "Oh, now what will happen if he has to go to toilet in the middle of his talk?" So Baba gave his talk. After the talk finished, he came like this, his style. He came like that, "Mother, Sadnama, nothing happened to me." See that? So he was like that. So much like childlike behavior, you feel so much love for him. And when you have somebody like that, come across somebody like that, build that relationship with God. And with that love, because God is love. If you cannot develop love in your heart, you cannot find God. Because finding God means you're feeling love. So you have to feel that love towards him. Okay. Another occasion, she wanted to make something new, and we are from Gujarat, so she knows Gujarati sweet very much. But she said, he's from Orissa and Bengal, so she said he would like rasgulla. She never made rasgulla before. The first time she tried to make rasgulla. Now he was upstairs, Guruji, and she started making rasgulla. But she was making so many things, rasgulla and this and that, so multitasking, and rasgulla burned. And it started smelling. Now she realized that, oh boy, it is smelling. Guruji will smell it. So she very quickly, she took the rasgulla, put it in a big container, put it all the way in the back of the refrigerator, so he cannot see. And yes, Guruji smelled it and came down. "What are you making, mother? What are you making?" "Something I smell." She said, "No, Baba, nothing. There is nothing there." She didn't want him to see. So then she went to work. I took time, day off, to be with Guruji. And then Guruji, she made something. So he started taking things out. And in the back, he found rasgulla. Burned rasgulla, smelling. And he started eating one after another. I said, "Baba, don't eat it, it's all burned, it smells so much." No, it is so delicious. And he finished all rasgulla, burned. This is his love. He saw that she made rasgulla with so much love, even though it was burned, he ate all of it. So when you are in a company of masters or some people from whom you feel so much love, you can build that relationship with God. So that is the relationship. It can be your brother or beloved or master, your guru, or your brother, any relationship, or your master and servant, any kind of relationship. But idea is you have to develop that love. Without love, you will not get closer to God. Now, so when we develop that love towards your master, it has to become deeper and deeper. And it has to reach such a stage that love has to transform into devotion. Okay, so love has to become, so that love should transform into supreme divine love. That is the highest stage. It is a process. You cannot reach that highest kind of love just like that. It takes months and years of practice, or the whole lifetime, or even in a whole lifetime you cannot get to that state. But you have to continue developing that love. So love starts with duality. Love cannot exist without duality. And then as you go, love goes deeper and deeper, the distance between you and object of your love, that can be your guru, that can be any form of God or supreme infinity, pure divine consciousness, it can be anything. But the distance between you and that object of your love should diminish as you grow spiritually. Okay? And the perfect love is the total union, absolute oneness with your beloved, that is God or whoever you love. But that should be the absolute, and that love will transform into devotion. So again, from duality to unity. Gandhari's prayer, you are my father, you are my mother, you are my friend, you are my relative, you are my wealth, you are my knowledge. And then at the end she says, you are everything to me. So duality, you are mother, father, me and you mother, me and you are father, me and you are my friend, me and you are my wealth, me and you are my knowledge. Ultimately says, you are everything to me, I myself is you. So in the beginning there is a notion that I want to become you. But as you grow in spirituality, grow closer and closer to higher state, that I disappears and it's only you. And that you is God, that you is me. Everything is one, together one. So that is the highest state, and that state you should reach. But just think about our life. Ramakrishna Paramhans, he used to say, if you can, the attachment that you feel towards your wife, towards your husband, or towards your girlfriend, boyfriend, or the attachment you feel towards your parents, or attachment you feel towards your wealth, prosperity, name, fame, power, if you can give up that attachment and transform or direct that attachment towards God, then you will find God here and now. That means you will find that everlasting joy and happiness right here, now. But he says, how many people can do that? How many people? He says, if you feel the pain of separation from God, as you feel the pain of separation from your husband or wife or children, if you feel the same pain of separation from God, then you can find God. So we are not at that stage. So we start at the beginning. We start with the belief, with the faith. Not faith, but provisional faith. That okay, like, suppose you have a digestion problem and you go to doctor. Doctor says that okay, I will suggest something to you. If you follow my instruction, your digestion problem will go away. Now what? Do we blindly believe him? Do we blindly have faith in him? But no, we don't have blind faith in him, but we keep a provisional faith. To believe that, okay, he is doctor, he has knowledge about medicine, so he can help me. So with that you start. Similarly, you have to keep that faith and love towards to the word of the masters and to the instruction in the scripture. Keep that provisional faith and belief and start. And as you meditate more, and another thing you always keep in your mind, because most of the people, okay, they start with that belief, but then in 1, 2 or 3 years, they don't see that they're progressing spiritually or their faith is increasing, and they lose faith. And they say it's not working, they give up. So you have to remember one thing, that whatever I am today, whatever spiritual level I have today is because of what I have done in so many past lives. Okay? So if there is so much negativity in me, if I have come in this life with a very heavy baggage of my karma from past life, I cannot clean all of that up in just few months, because it took me so many lifetimes to bring this such a heavy baggage of karma. I cannot clean up everything in just few months or few years. It may take more than one lifetime. Keep that in mind, because Otherwise, you have to be practical. Okay, if you don't keep that in mind, then you will lose faith. That is not working. But it takes time. It cannot happen right away. So, unless and until we clean up all the dirt, garbage from our subconscious mind, we cannot find God. So, mind has to become pure through our prayer, through our practice, through our relationship with God, and then only we can feel that peace and calmness, and we can grow spiritually. So, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, okay, but so as I said, that you start with concentration. Okay, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, there is a description of Ashtanga Yoga: Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. 8 limbs. Okay, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. Dharana means concentration. Dhyan, meditation. And Samadhi, absorption in God, becoming one with God, unity with God. So these 3. How you get dharana means how you can develop concentration. We learn in Kriya Yoga that pranayama, continuous and steady, practicing pranayama continuously every day, pranayama will increase your power of concentration. And Yoganandaji said, 1 cycle of Kriya pranayama will remove 1 year of your negative karma. So if you can do 10 cycles of Kriya pranayama in 1 day, you will become free from 10 years of your negative karma. Pranayama can be done at any time. Okay, we have to use Kriya in practical life. So, okay, they don't say, masters don't say that don't enjoy this world. So, okay, let's say you are watching television, and then the commercial break comes. You do pranayama in commercial break, sitting on chair or sofa. Nowadays, commercial breaks are so long. In 1 commercial break, you can do 2 cycles of Kriya pranayama. So, while watching TV, you can become free from 2 years of your negative karma. And if you can do 3 or 4 cycles of, commercial break, you can become free from 7 or 8 years of your negative karma. So, you can do like this. So, Kriya pranayama will gradually develop concentration. You will get the power of concentration from pranayama. As you become, then he says, Patanjali, that concentrate more and more. And as you concentrate more, you will reach a state which is the thoughtless stage, and that is meditation. So, meditation is not a technique. Meditation is a state that you can attain as a result of previous techniques. In Kriya Yoga, we do 6 techniques before that, and doing Kriya Pranayama. That will give us the power of concentration. So, if you follow this and do regularly, sincerely, with love and prayerful mind, if you do that, then God will know, Gurus know that you are very sincere in your practice. So, one day when you are done, you are not expecting that grace will come and you will reach the state of meditation, state of no thought, thoughtless stage. Or they say that he defines that meditation is unbreakable flow of knowledge, and that state will come by the grace of God and Gurus. If there is no grace of God and Gurus, you cannot reach the state of meditation. You cannot reach that thoughtless stage, or your mind is saturated in love, totally pure divine love. Such a happy state we cannot describe in words, but that can only come by the grace of God and Gurus. And the grace of God and Gurus will only come if you practice every day with love and devotion. So, love has to transform into devotion, and you cannot, only thing you can do is love, meditate, practice love, but that transformation to devotion will come by the grace of God and Masters. So, then the last one is Samadhi. So, when your meditation becomes very deep, again by the grace of God and Gurus, that meditation will transform into unity with God. You become one with God. And in that last limb, Patanjali describes what this state is. He says that there are presence of three: dhyata, dhyana, and dhyeta. Dhyata means meditator, dhyana, meditation, and dhyeta, object of meditation. So it says when you meditate, your mind reaches a state of saturation when meditator and meditation will be saturated into object of meditation. And then only object of meditation will remain as a luminous one. So that object of meditation can be anything, but you will just see light in that. And then he says, so then he also describes that that stage is like empty, great emptiness or void or huge infinite space. And you feel that your object of meditation, you become one with that and you feel your presence everywhere. And that is the stage of samadhi. So that is again Gandhari says, you are my father, mother. She was experiencing that duality, and then you are everything to me. I am one with you. I am united with you. So that is the final stage. So that final stage comes from that. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say that, you know, when mother, she has a little baby, so when baby is playing with the toys, mother says, okay, let my child play with the toys. I have so much work to do. Let me finish all my work. So when baby is playing with the toys, after some time when baby gets tired of playing with the toys and baby cries for mother, mother leaves all the work behind, runs to the child, takes under her embrace and comforts the child. So he says the same thing with Divine Mother. Divine Mother says that, okay, we are busy with our toys are enjoying this world, eating nice, delicious food, traveling, music, dance, eating nice food, everything. So when we are enjoying with our toys, Divine Mother says, I am very busy. I have to take care of the whole world and universe. Let my child play with all this nice car, nice house, everything. But when my child gets tired of playing with all these things, it may take several lifetimes. Okay, but when we get tired of this thing, we say, I want only God. And when we reach that stage, when we cry for God, oh God, I am tired of all these worldly things, I only want you, nothing else. Then Divine Mother will leave all her work behind, come to us, will take us in her embrace and will be God realized. So remember that it takes time. It may take one lifetime or several lifetimes. If you don't give up and keep developing your deep meditation, then you will reach that stage. Okay? So thank you so much.